Okay, Robinhood could be this summer's big attraction on Wall Street. According to multiple reports, the online brokerage is expected to go public in July. The reports also saying Robinhood could be worth $40 billion in an IPO. And joining me now is Don Stalter. He's the president of Global Founders Capital. He's a partner at Global Founders Capital. Excuse me, Don. It's good to have you with me this afternoon. So obviously we've heard talk about Robinhood going public for a while now. But now seems to be the right time for the company, according to it. Why do you think that is?
Well, delighted to be in touch, Kristen. I mean, I think first off, the IPO markets have been incredible. Q1, there were 111 IPOs, and the COVID-19 has led to a number of just big new opportunities. I think retail traders and sort of the Gen Z traders and millennial traders out there have experienced the category like never before. I think the ability to invest in various categories that they never had access to has become very, very meaningful. Robinhood's done an incredible job. It's performing right where society sort of cuts as an online brokerage with zero commission trades. I mean, they've got 5,000 stocks, 7 crypto categories and currencies, and it just creates more freedom for investors.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the irony is that it provides and it democratizes in its verbiage the use and access to stocks. Now investors can actually invest directly soon in Robinhood itself. Any indication, especially with the meme stock mania that we've seen of late, what the demand for these shares will be?
Look, I think it'll be an incredible demand. I think, with stocks in recent history, direct listing and, sort of the new formations around investors in a variety of consumer businesses on the fintech side, there's just, more excitement than ever. There are 13 million users on the platform right now. If each of those 13 million users refers a few of their friends or talks about their experience with Robinhood, I think we're in for a very, very exciting time.
Are the fundamentals in place? I think that's the other piece of this puzzle. Yes, it seems like the trading halts that they had to put in place at the end of January haven't impacted the business long term, but we know, of course, some retail traders really got caught flat-footed and lost a lot of money in that. What do we know today that puts this company in a better financial position than it was just about 6 months ago?
Yeah, I mean, I think financially, Q1, Q2, 2020, I mean, it's out there in the news already. They were doing sort of north of 90 million in top line. And I think, Q1, we're looking at, over 300 million in top line. I think in terms of the growth, I mean, it's undeniably exciting. I think in terms of fundamentals, there are constant improvements taking place on the language and the design to make it more useful to people. To make it sort of more applicable to their lives. Everybody, comes from sort of a different concept of investing. I mean, look at, Dogecoin in recent history or, a variety of the cryptocurrencies. Folks want access. And candidly, if Robinhood affords that opportunity, that's incredible.
Mm-hmm. I'm just curious, in terms of the changes that we might see coming forward to better protect the retail trader. When this company does go public, everything is going to be out there. We're not going to need a huge hearing on Capitol Hill, a virtual hearing during COVID times, to really get to the meat of this company. We'll see it in the quarterly reports. But the company committed to trying to speed up settlement times of trades and then also further financial literacy for its own users. That really seems to be the only thing that came out of those big hubbub hearings that we saw on the Capitol. Are those two things that you think in the near future could change for some of these Robinhood users? Their trades could be settled faster, which would give them sooner access to cash, and that there will be some sort of big push around financial literacy?
I think absolutely. I think Robinhood itself will push more in the direction of financial literacy. If you go into the app, there's already, quite a bit in the way of news and information around, how to make the right investments for you. But beyond that, I think there's a whole, flurry right now of influencers across YouTube and across various other channels who help sort of, set parameters around their own strategies. So I think there's a lot of subjectivity in terms of how people invest. But I think that, sort of democratizing everyone's strategies and thoughts around it is an extremely valuable thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the meme stock mania, I assume that's good news for Robinhood. Don, what's your take?
Look, I mean, I think that, the market is a free market. We live in a world where folks are now able to invest in just about, anything that they might be interested on the equities or the debt front or on the crypto front. I think ultimately, the checks and balances of the market will figure itself out.
Okay, so I seen some other fintech news here. Klarna. I hope I'm saying that name right.
Klarna, yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Raising a
absolutely.
whopping $639 million, now with a valuation of $45 billion. Extremely important. What's next for this company, and do you think that it can ride the momentum to Wall Street?
I think we're extremely excited for it. Crazy story. I actually met Sebastian, the founder, in his office in Stockholm in 2010, and it was an incredibly well-run business back then. Very professional, very KPI driven, very thoughtful with a great culture. And I think the business has pulled it all the way through to today. I mean, the valuation at this point in time is sort of testimony to that. Players in the category, more broadly speaking, have had really exciting outcomes. Look at Affirm, for example, which had a great IPO. So I think that there's positive sentiment around the category. But what's exciting here as well is that this is Europe's most valuable private fintech company, and they're coming into the U.S. It's $1 trillion market, and consumers take home items and pay later through smaller payments with interest. They're partnered with H&M, IKEA, Saks, 250,000 brands, and they have 18 million users.
Okay, Don, bottom line, before we have to let you go, this hour, new SEC chair, Gary Gensler, wants to crack down on Wall Street. What does that mean for Robinhood and the IPO?
I think Robinhood, navigates kind of the new policy and political issues that emerge, just given, the breadth of, smart people and the depth of experience that they now have. There's no doubt going to be a lot of harmony, when it comes to the IPO and sort of throughout regulatory changes. As with any sort of startup company, there's always going to be sort of considerations, conflicts, et cetera. But just with the caliber of folks behind it, I think it's going to be an incredible IPO.
Okay, we'll be watching. I think incredible is probably a good word, a fitting word as we await this IPO. Don, we got to leave it there. That's Don Stalter, partner at Global Founders Capital. Thanks again, Don.